of you understand this pain.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has always been very vocal about the close bond he has with his mother, Ada Johnson, and how much she means to him. But not many people know that nearly 40 years ago, she almost lost her life in an extremely terrifying way. So what exactly happened during Ada's seriously close call? The truth about how she managed to survive and the unforgettable lesson that The Rock learned from the alarming ordeal is honestly shocking. So let's get into it. When The Rock appeared on an episode of Oprah's Master Class in 2015, he opened up about a particular moment that had changed his life forever. According to Oprah.com, he revealed that when he was growing up, his family struggled a lot financially and their home life was very unstable. The Rock explained that when he was a kid, his father, the late Rocky Johnson, was a professional wrestler. Anytime his dad landed a new wrestling job, which happened pretty frequently, he would have to relocate to whichever city he'd be working in. That meant The Rock and his mother also often had to uproot on a whim and move around the country. To make matters worse, he claimed that his parents argued a lot. In a 2014 interview with The Hollywood Reporter, The Rock explained that he and his mother didn't always move whenever his dad got a new job. When he was a teenager, he and his mom lived in Hawaii, where they rented an efficiency apartment. But what happened next was absolutely devastating. It turns out that despite working multiple jobs, Ada wasn't making enough money to pay for everything. The Rock recalled seeing his mom break down in tears as her car was repossessed, and he admitted that he felt utterly hopeless. But sadly, things were about to get so much worse for them. Just 1 week later, Ada and The Rock arrived home like usual, but they quickly discovered that they weren't going to be able to get inside their apartment. The door had a padlock on it to keep them out, as well as a letter stating that they had been evicted for not paying rent. The Rock said that his mother immediately started sobbing and panicking. She didn't know what they were going to do next or where they would be able to stay. They obviously couldn't afford to rent another apartment, so they basically had no choice but to leave Hawaii and move in with The Rock's dad. During his appearance on Oprah's Master Class, The Rock mentioned that when he and his mom were kicked out of their apartment, his father was living in California. However, not long after they moved in with him, it was already time to pack up and relocate again, this time to Nashville, Tennessee. But before they could even get settled, their lives were completely turned upside down. The Rock explained that one afternoon, shortly after they arrived in Nashville, he and his parents met up at a restaurant. He added that he was aware that they had been dealing with a lot of problems in their marriage, but he was still surprised when they unexpectedly got into a super heated argument. The Rock claimed that the fight between his parents didn't get physical, but it was very loud and intense. They ended up leaving the restaurant, and both of his parents got into his dad's car. His mom was in the passenger seat, even though she had originally driven the family car there. At the time, The Rock was 15 years old and already had his driver's license. He got behind the wheel of the family car and started driving home on I-65, a huge interstate highway that's insanely busy. But what happened as he was following his dad's car was honestly startling. The Rock revealed that he knew something was wrong when he saw that his father's car had started swerving. He was close enough to the vehicle to be able to see inside, and unfortunately, his parents were arguing again. But all of a sudden, his dad pulled the steering wheel sharply to the right. After The Rock watched his father's car veer across all of the lanes of traffic, it stopped on the shoulder of the interstate. But then, his mother got out of the car, and he immediately noticed something about her appearance that was unbelievably strange. The Rock explained that his mom had a glazed look over her eyes that she had never had before. He added that he would never forget how they looked in that moment. But what happened next was seriously jaw-dropping. Shockingly, Ada then made her way to the middle of the interstate and began walking straight into oncoming traffic. The Rock said that despite everything else going on, his heart stopped. His mom was trying to take her own life. He claimed that as the cars and semi-trucks were barreling toward his mother, they honked their horns and swerved abruptly to avoid hitting her. He knew that there was no time to waste, so he got out of the car as fast as he could and quickly sprang into action. Thankfully, The Rock was able to dodge the oncoming traffic and grab onto his mom. He managed to drag her over to the side of the highway before either of them were struck by the cars speeding by. He admitted that he couldn't remember what he told her at the time, but he knows that she was completely silent. The Rock confessed that when he realized that he and his mom were safe, that moment changed who he was as a person. He explained that it had also taught him one of the greatest lessons he had ever learned, which was how precious life is and how in an instant it can all go away. Without a doubt, The Rock saved his mother's life that day, but in the blink of an eye, things could have gone very differently. If he hadn't been driving behind his dad's car after he and his parents left the restaurant, he most likely would not have been there to pull his mom to the side of the road. Both The Rock and his mother are so lucky that they didn't get hurt or lose their lives on the highway that day. But even though he will never forget the terrifying ordeal that changed his life forever, her recollection of the incident on the interstate is totally different. The Rock revealed that his mom doesn't remember a single thing about the attempt she made to end her own life. He added that it's probably for the best that she has no idea that it even happened because it was too traumatic to remember. When The Rock was interviewed by Express in 2018, he talked about his mom's close call and the impact it had on him. He admitted that he went through a lot of emotional pain after he witnessed her try to take her life in front of him when he was only 15 years old. However, he understood her struggles with mental health to some extent and confessed that he also suffered from depression at times. He explained that at one of his lowest points, he was crying constantly and no longer wanted to do anything. The Rock said that he could have easily ended up in a scary situation, like when his mom had walked into oncoming traffic, if he hadn't found the inner strength to carry on. He claimed that fortunately, he and his mother have both healed. The Rock stressed how important it is to pay attention when other people are in pain. He added that sometimes people just need a little bit of help working through their troubles and to be reminded that they are not alone. The Rock has spoken out about his battle with depression on several different occasions. He has also encouraged people who are silently struggling with their mental health to seek help and to talk to someone about what they're going through. It was obviously so traumatic for The Rock to see his mom attempt to end her life, but thankfully he was able to drag her to safety. Even though she doesn't remember the incident, it's great that they've both been able to heal and have found the strength to keep going. But now that we've gotten into how Ada tried to take her own life by walking into oncoming traffic, and how The Rock not only witnessed that as a teenager, but also saved her life, I want to know what you guys think. What are your thoughts on how The Rock managed to save his mom as she attempted to end her life in front of him? What do you think about how he's used his platform to be an advocate for mental health? Let me know in the comments below.